Hi everybody, welcome to Records, Food and Other Stuff channel, and this is this week's Lens Gem. This used to be on my podcast, a segment on my podcast, but I've decided to move it to the YouTube channel, so I utilize this channel more often. New year, new me. Yeah, right. So this week's Lens Gem is this here. I'll take note of the sleeve. It's the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band soundtrack to one of the worst, if not the worst movie ever made. It starred the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton, and they're the good guys in the movie, and they fight and kill Aerosmith, which threw me for a loop-de-loop back in my younger days. I used to own the movie on DVD after watching it on television one afternoon in the summer. I thought, man, this is terrible. I'm going to go buy it. It wasn't hard to find, and it was very cheap. So, within this album, it's a folded gate. It's got little pictures from the movie in it. It's in this cover's in rough shape, but I picked it up for a pretty good, fairly cheap. And it has the original poster that it came with. There is some writing on it. It says, over Peter Frampton, someone wrote the best one. So I guess if you're comparing him to the Bee Gees, yes, I would concur. But yeah, if you ever see the movie and it's on television or a streaming service and you literally have nothing else in the world to do, like dumping alcohol on open wounds or poking your eye with a fork, watch it. I'm just going to read stuff off the Wikipedia page so you get an idea of what it's about. Okay, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is a double album produced by George Martin, featuring cover songs of the songs by the Beatles. It was released July 1978 as the soundtrack to the film Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which starred the Bee Gees, Peter Frampton, and Steve Martin. How could you miss? Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band debuted at number 7 on the U.S. Billboard album chart and stayed at number 5 for 6 weeks, although there was reported resistance in the interpretation of the Beatles songs, such as Martin's comedic take on Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Earth, Wind & Fire's version of Got to Get Them in Your Life became a million-selling single. So the soundtrack, as bad as the movie was, the soundtrack is really good. A lot of great covers by a lot of different bands, different musicians. Let's go in order. Track 1, The Long and Winding Road by Peter Frampton. Day in the Life, Barry Gibb and the Bee Gees. Golden Slumber by Peter Frampton. Carry That Weight, the Bee Gees. Earth, Wind & Fire's Got to Get You My Life. Nowhere Man by the Bee Gees. Maxwell's Silver Hammer by Steve Martin. Get Back by Billy Preston. Polythene Pam by the Bee Gees. Oh Darling by Robin Gibb. Because, Alice Cooper with the Bee Gees. Fixing a Hole, George Burns, who was also in the movie. She came in through the bathroom window. Peter Frampton, the Bee Gees. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band reprise. Peter Frampton, the Bee Gees. You know what? I'm going to skip all those guys. Who cares? Aerosmith's cover of Come Together. Here Comes the Sun by Sandy Farina. Beautiful. Good Morning, Paul Nicholas, Peter Frampton and the Bee Gees. Mean Mr. Mustard, Frankie Howard. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Diane Steinberg. Stargard, that's a really good track. Strawberry Fields Forever by Sandy Farina. You Never Give Me Your Money, Paul Nicholas and Diane Steinberg. And When I'm 64, Frankie Howard and Sandy Farina. So, horrible movie. Yeah, I remember turning on just before the big fight scene between Aerosmith and the Bee Gees. And at the time, I was a big Aerosmith fan. as I got older, you just, your favorite bands when you're a kid aren't always your favorite bands as you get older. Plus, some of the creepy shit Steve Tyler's done soured me a bit. So what the other guys do too, right? I mean, he might be the only creep in the group, but they stuck around. 4 women have come out against him, I think, for stuff he did back in the day. So, but I mean, I remember once the internet came around, and I would, Google search Aerosmith, and it's like, hey, Steve Tyler did this, and creepy, and it was like, maybe I don't like Aerosmith as much as I used to. So yeah, don't ever see the movie, but give the soundtrack a listen. Even the Peter Frampton and Bee Gees, what they do on it, isn't that bad. So that's this week's Lens Gem here on the Record Food and Other Stuff channel. Moved from the podcast to live and in color, where I can show you the record. And maybe in the future, I don't know, YouTube doesn't like playing the music, so check it out on Spotify. I'm sure it's there. So yeah, you guys have a good week. See you next week with another one of Lens Gems, right here on Records, Food, and Other Stuff. Thank you.